I feel today? Ask yourself this question.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We ready! We ready! We ready! We ready! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house!
When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
Football is getting hit. That's it.
It's gonna be football now! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's hunt now! Let's hunt now! Let's go! Let's hunt! We ready! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house!
We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this holler, we the Miami Heat of football. Yap, 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 yap. The bottom line is you got to buckle up your chin strap.
It's embarrassing.
Yap, 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 yap.
Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from them.
He's a man. They can be hit just like us. He's a man.
You already make the big money.
He's a man.
Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's war out there.
When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like.
Oh, my bad, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! We ready! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house! It's a wrap. Game over.
Now, this game is not over. It's just getting started right here on the lunch break, powered by, I'm always in the way, JM&E, JM&E, and we stream it live on ROKU TV, courtesy of BS3 TV. All right, it is Winning Wednesday, and I need y'all's help. I need y'all's help. I need y'all's help. I need to know who this young man is right here. This fella right here, I need to know who he is, and I need y'all to get him in touch with me so we can get him paid, and I mean paid in full. Jameis Jeter. Who is that? Who friend is that? Jameis Jeter was the winner of the Lunch Break Weekly Keeping Up with the Joneses Bracket Challenge. He only had 66 points, but it only took 66 to win $500 cash, beat out Clarence by 2 points, and Big Mike by 6. So congratulations, Jameis Jeter. I don't know you, but I need to know you. I need to know you. So if y'all down with Jameis Jeter, give him this number, 832-403-5005. Tell him to get at me so I can get at him with 500s. I mean it. Congratulations, Jameis Jeter. It was a tough bracket, man. It was a tough bracket. Mine was done week 1. Erica with a K beat me and ain't stopped talking about it yet. I think I beat Todd, though. Did I beat Todd? As long as I beat Todd, I'm all right. Let me look down. I was way down in the 40s. No, I didn't beat Todd. I didn't beat Todd. I didn't beat his wife, Amber. I barely beat. Let me tell you who I beat. All right. On one of my brackets, I beat Corey, Isabel. I beat myself. I beat Chi-Town 2. I beat Vinny Hardy 1 and 2. That's all. Those are the only people I beat. Those are the only people I beat. So what I did was, let me tell you what I did. I did what I did, so y'all didn't think I was trying to do the, wait, how many, is it 5 figures or 4? I wasn't trying to show y'all up. So I decided to be at the bottom. You know, and work my way to the top. But congratulations to Jameis Jeter. Who is he? Anybody know him? Get at me. All right. 832-403-5005. So I can get at him with his money. Congratulations to him. Thank you for our sponsors out there. I'm tempted to not say them because, I got a couple of people offended, all in their feelings because of what I said yesterday. And let me just help you out. If you were offended by the show yesterday, get over it, because I ain't changing none. I said what I said. I meant what I said. And I think I said it pretty well, because I didn't call you a racist. I didn't. I didn't call you a bigot. I didn't call you anything like that. I said that some of us have biases that we're blind to. And because we're so busy trying not to come across as something else, we won't listen to other people who are trying to help us see our biases. And notice I said us, which includes me. So if you got offended by yesterday's show, oh well, I'm sorry. Listen, there is an unfollow button. There is an unfollow button. You can go ahead and block me. That way we don't even have to cross each other in passing. You know, one thing about me, you got to check this out. I've been doing this radio thing for 40 years, 40 plus years, all right? I just retired from radio. I've gotten over into the TV side. And one thing I'm not trying to do, I'm not trying to end up on ESPN. I'm not trying to end up on Fox Sports. I love doing what I'm doing because guess what? I own it. Period, point blank. So I'm not trying to be somewhere where you got to see me and deal with me and all that, but I'm going to say what I say. And I said what I said yesterday, and I meant it. And if you're too sensitive to handle that, then I got news for you. Seek a therapist. Don't bother me. Don't bother. Seek a therapist. They're going to help you. All right? All right. So anyway, let's get back to the show. It's Winning Wednesday. Congratulations to James Jeter on winning $500 cash. Congratulations to him. Now, the only way he can get that $500 is if he gets at me. You got to get at me, bro, so I can get that to you. I want to appreciate our sponsors. I want to appreciate the sports and wellness doc, Dr. Alexia McClurkin Johnson. Go to her website, the sports and wellness doc.com. And you can check her out there. She'll help you. And then also want to thank the Hartwell Clinic, thehartwellclinic.com. And then I want to thank my insurance company because I put up money as well for our winners. All right, so now here comes the next chance for you to win $500 cash. The next chance it's coming up. It's football time. We about to get ready back for the Lunch Break Weekly, Keeping Up with the Joneses Pick'em Challenge on football. Amen. So get ready. Somebody said, you're not doing basketball? Nah, we're not going to do the NBA. We're not going to do the WNBA. We're just going to do football and college basketball. I'm working on getting some sponsors. Erica with a K, Keith Hennick, CJ. I need to raise about 500 so we can get a women's bracket challenge. Can y'all help us with that? I just need 100.5 from Erica. I need 100.5 from CJ. I need 100.5 from Keith Hennick. Yeah. How much is that? Did I get it right? Let me check my math. I don't think I got that right. I think I got a little extra. I think I got it a little extra. Let's see. 150 times 3. I got a degree. I got 2 degrees in math. That's 450. I'll put up the extra 50. There we go. Erica said I got 5 on it. So Erica got the whole 500. Erica, see what I did? I spoke those things to be not as though they were. She might have been talking about $5, but I spoke it into 500, and that's how it happened. So Erica got 500, and we're going to go ahead and start a women's bracket challenge. Keeping Up with the Joneses women's bracket challenge because, man, the women's game was so exciting. The women's tournament was so exciting. $5. Yeah. So move those decimals, move that decimal over 2 places, Erica, and then we got you. And Keith Hennick gonna put the tax on it for you. So we got it. So again, Erica, CJ, and Keith Hennick, they are going to be the sponsors for the Lunch Break Weekly, Keeping Up with the Joneses women's bracket challenge. So there we go. Y'all are funny, man. So here we go. Here the numbers are in. The numbers are in. The men's championship game from Monday night, 14.69. Let's round it up. 14.7 million people watched that game on television. Lowest viewed championship game of them all. Lowest. 14.7 million people. Okay. The women's game, on the other hand, on Sunday night 9.9 million people watched that game, and that made it the most watched women's championship game ever. What does that tell you? One game is trending up, the other game is trending down, and you can blame it on UConn versus San Diego State. If it had been UConn versus U of H, would the viewership have been higher? The attendance would have been higher, and there was 74,000 people in the arena that night, in the stadium that night. But, again, would more people have viewed it on TV? If you're telling me that the only way for them to get higher rankings is for them to have a Kentucky or Kansas or Duke or North Carolina, then I'm telling you, I'm out. You had LSU and Iowa pull a 9-9. So the women's game has it figured out. The men's game, the marketing, NCAA, you got to figure your stuff out. Because if we got to watch only Kansas, only North Carolina, only Duke, only Kentucky, then I'm out. Because guess what? I enjoyed seeing San Diego State there. I wanted to see Florida Atlantic in that thing. I wanted to see Miami in that thing. And if the underdogs don't have a chance to get the viewership that they deserve, then guess what? I mean it. Yeah, you show right. Erica said, okay, Keith said, I'm in for $10. Erica said, with AJ's math, you just sponsored men's and women's, Keith. You're right. So we moved them decimals over. Keith, you start out with 10, move that decimal place over 2 spots. And we got that 1,500 for the men, 500 for the women. We wrapped. I'll be rocking Keith Hennick's name every day, all day. He says, if my horns aren't in it, I'm watching a movie. And I get that. And that's what I'm saying, man. Let me just tell you this. San Diego State was not watching on television. They had a ton of people in the stadium that night. They had a ton of folks. San Diego State traveled to see their team play. They traveled like some of the blue blood programs traveled. They were the loudest crowd in the stadium the other night. So, again, you got to figure out the TV marketing. You got to figure out the hype machine. You got to hype that thing as if it was Duke, as if it was Kansas, as if it was North Carolina, as if it was Kentucky. You got to hype that thing up like that. And I don't know if CBS did that. They got to figure that out. They got to go back and peel the onion back and look at why they got the lowest viewership. It's lazy and easy to just blame it on the matchup. But did you do the same thing you would have done had it been UConn and Duke, UConn and Kansas, UConn and North Carolina, UConn and Kentucky? Did you go about it the same way that you would have gone about it had it been one of them? And if you didn't, CBS, you can't blame nobody else but yourself. Can't blame nobody else but yourself. The women figured it out with LSU and Iowa, for Christ's sake. Oh, well, they had the most compelling players in the game. Yeah, you're right. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese saved the day. And I mean, people are still talking about the women's game and post-game more so than they're talking about the men's game. I'm not saying that you needed drama in the men's game. I'm saying you just got to handle them both as if they are the best matchup possible. And if you don't do that, if you don't put in the work, then don't expect, the fan base to lose any sleep out of it, because San Diego State represented. There were a bunch of no-shows at work in San Diego on Monday. Why? Because their team was in it. And I mean it, all the teams in the Final Four on the men's and women's side represented well. Their fan bases represented well. They really did. So again, as far as Houston goes, I can say great job. And the little that I saw in Dallas, because I was in and out. They handled it well. The state of Texas should be proud of the way they handled all the sporting events this past weekend. So again, great job. Erica, I agree with you. The passion level on Sunday night, the passion level on Friday was unmatched by the men. It just really was. And again, you had Virginia Tech, you had South Carolina, you had LSU, and you had Iowa. And let me tell you, the passion level was off the chain. I'm telling you, the women's game is definitely trending up. All joking aside, I do want to get some sponsors to put up some money so we can give away some money with the Lunch Break Weekly Keeping Up with the Joneses Women's Bracket Challenge. Because, man, I really think that we'll have people all over the country being a part of that. So I got to take my first break. We'll do that. We'll come back with more right after this on the Lunch Break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on ROKU TV, courtesy of BS3 TV.
If you're looking for a sports program that gives you the flavor.
Washington Commanders? Really?
This whole thing stinks to high heaven.
That pulls no punches.
Thuggish act by a thuggish actor.
That gives you some humor.
Praise everything LeBron does and never criticize it.
If you want a show that gives you good times, then this is that show. BS3 Network proudly presents.
I am Colt Johnson and welcome to
Go Sports with a Z. Every Friday on Patreon and every Saturday on YouTube, Spreaker, and all other outlets. What do you get when you watch or listen to the Life Happens podcast? Well, I'll let them tell you.
Kim and I are both ministers of the gospel, and what Life Happens podcast is a beautiful balance by simply taking our spirituality with real life and merging it together to create a beautiful balance. And that's what we do.
BS3 Network proudly presents Life Happens podcast, where Christianity and life intersect. Live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central.
All right, there it is. That's two of the great shows in the family of BS3. If you got a Roku streaming device, just download BS3 TV. Download BS3 TV from your Roku streaming device, and you get Life Happens podcast, you get Cold Sports, and a whole lot more. So do it. Why wait? Do it. If you don't have a Roku streaming device, get you one, or get your Roku TV, or go to the website, bs3network.com. That's bs3network.com. You'll thank me later because we got some things coming that you're going to be like, oh my God, they doing that? Yup. Get ready, as TD Jakes would say. All right, let's get to the second half of this this Winning Wednesday. Again, Jameis Jeter, if y'all know him, if y'all know Jameis Jeter, have him get at me. What's up, Tony? What's up, dog? What's up? So anyway, got to give you an update on yesterday. I talked about Angel Reese. I talked about Caitlin Clark. I talked about the just unwarranted criticism that was just out of pocket. I mean, seriously, if some of these people, have y'all been watching Swarm? Have y'all been watching Swarm? If you have not been watching Swarm, watch it. And I'm not promoting violence, but I am going to use it as an analogy. If some of these people knew that other folks on social media platforms could look up their IPS address, and knock on that door, those IP addresses, and knock on that door and say, hey, what was you saying? I think that they would chill out a little bit, because some folks just got way too deep in their chest talking about a 20-year-old black female that many of us are not going to we're not standing for that. Speak your piece, but don't cross the line with that young lady. And I would say the same thing if it was a 20-year-old white girl. I would, because you just need to leave these young people alone. When you were 20 years old, I know, I was protecting our country in the military. You were still doing dumb stuff. Many of y'all were still doing dumb stuff, a lot of dumb stuff. So you're not going to hold 20-year-old black girls to a standard that you wouldn't hold yourself to, or you wouldn't hold some of your bad butt kids to. So I say that movie Swarm because Swarm, that old girl, if you ain't rocking with her favorite artist, she knock up on your door, bust you in the head with a frying pan, man. She is crazy. That series is out of this world, but I digress. So I talked about it yesterday at length. And since then, Caitlin Clark herself has come out and said that Angel Reese should not be getting criticized the way that she's getting criticized. That she said it's all part of the sport, it's all part of the passion of the sport, and both of them are great competitors. And I applaud her for doing that. Now you got people saying, oh, see, again, Caitlin is more mature than Angel Reese. Leave Angel alone. You know what? You can appreciate both without degrading the other. All right? So if Caitlin has put it to rest, then some of y'all keyboard warriors need to put it to rest too. Because many of y'all talk a bigger game than it really is. Let's just be real about it, man. Some folks talking like they don't want Super Bowls, they don't want national college championships, they don't want high school championships every minute that they've been alive, they don't want basketball, baseball, tennis, air hockey championships, and they ain't never lost a day in their life. They talking about they stuff like they are just the second coming since Jim Thorpe. And the reality is many of them are not. Just real. Many of them, baby, if you got a cut left or cut right, you bust your big fat knees. So let's just chill out. Let's just chill out on being a keyboard warrior with these girls. And I'm talking to the Keith Olbermans of the world. I'm talking to the Dave Fontroys of the world. I'm talking to a whole lot of people with blue check marks that they probably paid for anyway. So Caitlin Clark has put it to rest. Let's put it to rest, and let's get ready for a great next season, man. I want to see how LSU is going to come out next year. I want to see how Iowa is going to come out next year. I want to see how South Carolina is going to bounce back. I want to see how Virginia Tech is going to bounce back. Heck, Indiana, for the better part of the season, was one of the top 3 teams in the country. The Ohio State had a great season. What's going to happen with the women, the Longhorns women's team, in Texas? There's so much to look forward to. There's so much to look forward to. Tony, you're right. Let me spend a second on that before I got to go. Time is sure flying on this show, Winning Wednesday. Now that Miss Joe Biden is a different story. She's definitely old enough to criticize. Yeah, let me say something. Her press secretary has since walk that back because, First Lady of the United States, Joe Biden, had suggested that in addition to inviting LSU to the White House for their victory visit, that they also invite Iowa because they played such a great game. I'm going to talk with Joe and see if he'll invite Iowa too. Well, the press secretary said, yeah, we're gonna celebrate LSU and we wish Iowa all the best. Yeah, I think she figured, that the lady on the commercial where the woman had the pictures on the wall and she was taking pictures down and she said, I unfriend you. And the lady said, that ain't how this works. That's not how any of this works. That's Joe Biden. She knows that now. That's not how any of this works. Now, if she wants to have tea in Iowa, please go ahead. She can invite anybody she wants to the White House. But for that moment, for that time, however long it takes, it needs to be all about LSU. They earned it. They deserve it. And that's that. Now, I know Angel Reese has come out and said, now, I don't accept her apology. I don't want to come. We'll go to the Obamas. Angel, I feel you. You allowed to feel what you want to feel. If you want to go to the Obamas, you go right ahead because that's a pretty dope thing, to be honest with you. But if the rest of the team wants to go to the White House and rock with Jill and them, then so be it. So be it. So be it. So be it. I don't think Kim Mulkey wants to go and rock with Joe Biden and Jill, but hey, I digress. So anyway, it just, to me, creates more excitement for the upcoming season. It really does. This, to me, is like wrestling, and I'm talking about professional wrestling marketing, because, man, they will create some rivalries. They will create some turning their backs on each other kind of storylines that I look forward to seeing when those two get together. I'm old school. I came up in the days of Junkyard Dog and the Iron Sheik and Kamala and Lex Luger and all of them, man. I came up with them cats. So, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, baby. So I'm looking forward to the rematches. I'm looking forward to you was talking that stuff last season. Let me see what you're doing this season. Man, it's just going to be exciting. It is going to be exciting. And I know that both those young ladies, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, are going to benefit from NIL deals out of this world. And I'm here for it all of it. Now, on the men's side, they got to figure it out, man. They got to figure it out. They had parity this year like never before. There was no clear-cut number one team. Other than UConn and UConn fans, who saw UConn winning it all? Who? Not many of us. So the reality, everybody thought it was going to be Alabama. Some thought it was going to be Houston. Some thought it was going to be, other teams. But, man, UConn on top. You should benefit from that and not lose from that. Parity should be a good thing, and folks got to figure it out. Erica, I got to have you back on the show because Erica was runner-up. No, this is going to eat her biscuits. Erica was runner-up for Player of the Year in the what we now know as the Big 12 to Tamika Dixon at the University of Kansas. Notice how I got all that in, Erica. And Erica used to talk smack to everybody from the say can you see by the dawn's early light. By the time you got to the land and of the Erica's talking smack. As soon as she got her hand off her chest, off her heart, Erica started smack talking then. I got to have her on the show because maybe she can shed some light on the real competitive nature of smack talk in women's college basketball, because you got a bunch of people ain't never played a god doggone game of women's college basketball in their lives, and they running around like they, like Caitlin Clark was their child. So anyway, Tony said, I'm here for it too. And they got a lot of people interested that weren't involved at all. Here's what's interesting to me about that, Tony. Oh, it's about to rain. I'm glad I'm about to get off. Here's what's interesting about that. You had a lot of people who tried to say, well, the only reason why we even tuned in was because of Caitlin Clark. What's interesting is they make that sound like that's a flex, because watch this. When many of us said we tuned in to golf because of Tiger Woods on the last day when he was wearing that red shirt, which meant the Tiger was on the prowl, folks was like, oh, golf was a great game before Tiger Woods and golf will be a great game after him. Well, guess what? Women's college basketball was a great game before Caitlin Clark, and it will be a great game after her. Caitlin Clark ain't the first, she ain't the best, and she won't be the last. I love her. Please don't get me wrong. I love seeing greatness across the board. I grew up in an era with Magic Johnson, with Larry Bird, with Dominique Wilkins, with Dr. J, with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I did not see Wilt play. I did not. I'm not that old. But again, I had greatness all across the board. And I don't have to pick the greatest of all time. That's a new age thing. So Caitlin Clark is one of the best basketball players on the women's side that I have seen. But I got to see Lisa Leslie. I got to see Brittany Griner. I got to see Candace Parker. I got to see some great players in my life. The McGee sisters, Cheryl Miller. I got to see some great women players. So I'm not about to give her the top of Mount Rushmore. So if you're tuning in now because of her, good, where you been? Many of us have been here before that. Many of us have been there for that. Erica's talking that smack. LOL. Say it out loud. Say it out loud. And she says, and now me and Mika are friends. In fact, I had Tamika Dixon on the show with me and myself and Chris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review, thanks to Erica with a K. Yeah, Donnie, it is raining. I'm about to get off of here, man. I don't need to get popped. It's coming time. Keith Hennig said, I played against women and lost. I don't trash talk ever. I do, bro. I trash talk like crazy, and I was not the best player on the field. Football. I trash talk like crazy in football, but I was not the best player. Keith, I will teach you how. LOL. Listen, let me get ready to get out of here. Again, if y'all know Jameis Jeter, Jameis, Jamus, Jeter, Geter, have him get at me. Tell him I got 500 reasons why he needs to get at me. Give him my number, 832-403-5005. That's 832-403-5005. Yeah, God, did I forget Cheryl Swoops? One of the greatest players ever. In fact, Caitlin Clark just broke Cheryl Swoops' forever record for the most points scored in the tournament. So, I mean, man, there's been some great players. I used to travel to cover the Houston Comets until Mr. Hilton Kosh, ended up letting the team go to trash and ended up getting them out of the league. So, I got to go, y'all. Listen, as always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I truly do love you. There is nothing you can do about it. So tune in tomorrow for Throwback Thursday with me and the OG, Chris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review. Y'all have a great day. We will talk to you then.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today is Wednesday. We're over that hump. April 5th, 2023. Number 1. Former President Donald Trump was formally arrested Tuesday afternoon, along with facing and responding to 34 felony charges brought by Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg Jr. During his appearance, Donald J. Trump pleaded not guilty to 34 counts of falsifying business records. He then was released and driven to his plane with plans to give a speech upon his return to Florida Tuesday evening. The next hearing is scheduled for December 4th, 2023, with legal experts not expecting a trial to begin in earnest until after November 5th, 2024. That would be Election Day. Number 2. Victor Glover is set to be the first ever black astronaut to the moon, as he was selected by NASA to participate in the space agency's Artemis II mission, the U.S. first lunar mission in half a century. NASA officials say the diverse crew assignments signify the cultural shifts since the original Apollo missions, which ended in 1972, when white men dominated space exploration. Glover holds a Bachelor of Science in General Engineering, a Master of Science in Flight Test Engineering, a Master of Science, and he was also the first black man to live on the International Space Station back in 2020. Number 3. This week, state officials were scheduled to begin the process of removing Americans who no longer qualify for Medicaid as pandemic programs have expired. During the pandemic, about 90 million Americans qualified for Medicaid coverage. An estimated 15 million could lose that coverage. Most states are expected to take between 9 months to 1 year to complete the verification process, as the special enrollment period for people dropped from Medicaid began March 31st and will continue through July 31st, 2024. Number 4. On April 1st, over 100 residents from the Chesterland community in Northeast Ohio gathered in a church to listen to drag queens read to their children. According to news reports, Pastor Jess Peacock said they expected to receive a certain amount of backlash when they began publicizing the event, but the response to the story hour went beyond the usual. Authorities arrested a member of a neo-Nazi group in the area just a few days later in relation to violence inflicted upon the church a week before the event. Number 5. The family and friends of Demetrius Thomas are asking the public for help in locating him. The 16-year-old was last seen near his home in College Station, Texas, in the 1600 block of Southwest Parkway around 2 p.m. Anyone with information about Demetrius's disappearance, please go to the Black and Missing Foundation website. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. The universe has supplied us with all the creative resources to make a masterpiece of your life. So let's inhale creativity and exhale limits. Thank you to our What You Need to Know partner, the American Heart Association. Please join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with Stephen Hill, Myra J., and LGBTQ plus activist Quinn Townsend Riley as we discuss today's top headlines and more. I'm Sybil Wilkes. Be informed, be empowered.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.